Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's lighting up headlines and sparking heated debates across the globe. Israel's latest airstrikes on Gaza. Over 400 people killed in a single day, a ceasefire shattered, and a big question hanging in the air. Did the United States give Israel the go-ahead? Stick around because this one's a wild ride and we're breaking it all down for you. Hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. It's March 19th, 2025, and the world woke up to chaos. On Tuesday, Israel launched what's being called one of the deadliest attacks on Gaza since 2023. Airstrikes pounded the strip from north to south, wiping out entire families, targeting Hamas commanders, and leaving hospitals overwhelmed. Palestinian officials say over 400 people died. Men, women, children, gone in hours. Survivors described it as a night of hell, with bombs dropping just before the pre-dawn Ramadan meal. But here's the kicker. The White House says Israel consulted them before pulling the trigger. So what does that mean? Did the US just co-sign this? Now let's rewind a bit. For 2 months, Gaza had a fragile ceasefire. Think of it like a shaky truce between two kids who just stopped fighting over the last cookie. It started in January, brokered to pause a war that's already claimed tens of thousands of lives. Israel wanted its hostages back, 59 of them still held by Hamas. Hamas wanted the fighting to stop. Things were tense, but quiet, until they weren't. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Hamas broke the deal by refusing to release those hostages. His response? This is just the beginning. But why now? And why drag the US into it? Enter the United States. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt dropped a bombshell on Fox News. Israel reached out to the Trump administration on Monday before the strikes. She didn't say they begged for permission, just that they consulted. An Israeli official even told the Wall Street Journal that President Trump gave the green light. Now the White House isn't denying it, and Trump's team is framing it like a tough guy move. Hamas, the Houthis, Iran, terrorize Israel or the US, and you'll pay. But hold up. Does consulted mean approved? Or is this just diplomatic jargon to dodge the blame? Imagine this. Netanyahu picks up the phone, calls Trump, and says, "Hey Trump, we're about to hit Gaza hard. You cool with that?" Trump's like, "Yeah, Netanyahu, do what you gotta do." Okay, maybe it wasn't that casual, but the vibe's not far off. The US and Israel have been tight allies forever. Billions in military aid, shared intel, you name it. So it's not shocking they'd chat before a move this big. What is shocking is how public they're being about it. Usually this stuff stays behind closed doors. So why spill the beans now? While Israel and the US high-five over their consultation, the rest of the world isn't exactly clapping. France, Norway, Qatar, even China, they're all slamming the strikes. The UK called the civilian deaths appalling. Hamas is screaming that the US bears full responsibility for the massacres. Meanwhile, survivors in Gaza are burying their kids in hospital courtyards because there's no time for proper funerals. Over 400 dead in one day. That's one of the highest single-day tolls since this war kicked off in October 2023. And Netanyahu? He's doubling down, saying talks with Hamas will only happen under fire. Okay, let's unpack this. Why did Israel hit now? Some say it's about those hostages. Hamas won't budge, so Israel's turning up the heat. Others think it's political. Netanyahu's got a coalition to hold together, a budget deadline looming, and far-right allies who hate ceasefires. Resuming the war, and boom, he's got their votes. But here's where it gets murky. Did the US want this? Trump's been vocal about crushing Iran's allies, like Hamas and the Houthis, who just fired a missile at Israel from Yemen. Is this a coordinated flex against Tehran? Or did Israel just loop in the US to cover their bases? The US and Israel have a long history of tag teaming. Think of it like Batman and Robin, except with drones and airstrikes. The US has vetoed UN resolutions against Israel, sent weapons, and shared tech. But this time the stakes feel higher. Gaza's already a rubble pile. 2.3 million people squeezed into a strip smaller than Las Vegas. And now bombs are falling again. Critics say the US isn't just a bystander, it's an enabler. Supporters argue Israel's fighting for survival against a terrorist group that won't let go of hostages. Who's right? That's the million-dollar question. Look, here's the bottom line. Consulted doesn't mean ordered, but it sure doesn't mean objected either. The US knew what was coming, and they didn't stop it. Over 400 people are dead because of that call, or lack of one. Was it a strategic masterstroke to pressure Hamas, a political lifeline for Netanyahu, or just another bloody chapter in a war with no end? One thing's clear, the ceasefire's toast, and Gaza's paying the price. What do you think? Did the US cross a line here? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this convo going. That's it for today, fam. If you like this deep dive, smash that like button, share it with your crew, and subscribe for more. Next time we're tackling, what's the Houthi angle in all this? You won't want to miss it. Stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.